Finally, the sequel we've been waiting years for has arrived. We have yearned, we have prayed, we have begged God, but finally, a sequel to The Incredible Hulk is here. Yep, I just saw Captain America Brave New World, and I did not like it very much. This movie has had a history in the news for all kinds of rumors of extensive reshoots and retooling and cutting characters and putting characters back in and whatever. And then I think people kind of turned around and said maybe that's not all true and people were mostly exaggerating. And whether or not those things are true, I can't say. What I can say is that this feels like a movie that got butchered in the edit. But before I get into the numerous reasons that I didn't like this movie, let me outline a few things that I did. First, I still really like Sam Wilson as Captain America. I've liked that choice ever since it was revealed in Endgame. I thought it was a good choice to skip over Bucky and go straight to Sam. It makes way more sense for these versions of the characters. I'm one of 4 people who actually likes the Falcon and the Winter Soldier show. In fact, I was always on the train that it was a bit insulting to not have Sam's first outing as Captain America be a movie. So when they announced that he would be getting a movie, I was pretty excited. And even in this movie that I don't otherwise enjoy very much, I still really liked him as Captain America. The other main thing I liked here was our new Falcon. I knew he was in this, but I didn't expect him to be as prevalent in the narrative as he was. I do wish we had a little more time to get to know the friendship between Sam and Joaquin outside of missions, but hey, I'll take what I can get. I just think Sam and Steve's relationship was built up so naturally over such little time in The Winter Soldier that you don't even question it when Steve rolls up to a guy he just met's house and asks him to fight Nazis with him. In this one, you don't really see them talking about anything that isn't currently happening, and that can be a bit annoying. There's also a plotline involving Isaiah Bradley in this movie that is really interesting, and I was excited to see where it would go, but the movie kind of forgot about it for a majority of the runtime. So yeah, Sam, Isaiah, Joaquin, I like those characters. What's wrong with the rest of the movie? Well, we could start with the fact that those are the only Captain America characters in the movie. You may have heard by now, but the rest of the movie is basically a Hulk sequel without the Hulk. Harrison Ford plays General Ross in this movie, and he does a pretty decent job portraying him, but the storyline around his character is so ham-fisted and boring. In my opinion, this movie makes one fundamental mistake, one in which they could actually make the rest of the movie better if they just did this one thing, and that would be committing to the Red Hulk being the villain. They take this bizarre approach to Ross and the Red Hulk by making it seem like he's some kind of victim, but from all we know about him and his previous appearances, he's an asshole. I kept thinking any minute it was going to be revealed that he was pulling all the strings, but nope. He's just kind of a normal guy now, and he gets turned into a bigger, redder guy. I thought this movie would be about how a character like Captain America would fit into the situation where the President of the United States is a villain, but it doesn't go that way at all. It takes this bizarrely bootlicking stance in which Sam never really condemns anything Ross does. At one point, he says, it's just an honor to stand next to the president. Come the fuck on. If you recall, this is the same guy who immediately said no to the government controlling the Avengers. In fact, Sam said no to that shit before Steve even did. So now I'm meant to sit here and believe that the same guy believes he shouldn't make the president feel bad? There's a plotline about the big guy sticking out of the earth from Eternals actually having adamantium in it. Which, woohoo, hold on to your belts, everybody. And General Ross pitches a treaty where all countries are going to share it equally. And me, as a guy who knows General Ross from previous movies, is thinking, well, that's probably bullshit. He's going to want to take it for just the USA to use and nobody else. But no, that's literally exactly what he wants to do. They seemed like they were afraid to make him do anything bad. A movie in which Captain America is forced to go up against the US president would be pretty awesome. It's a shame they didn't do that in any meaningful way. Obviously, he fights the Red Hulk, but they still try to make me feel bad for the guy, but I don't feel bad for you. Instead, they pin the blame on the leader, or Tim Blake Nelson's character from The Incredible Hulk, who I must say has got to be one of the worst villains in a Marvel movie that I've seen in a little bit. I think all the previous movie villains were a little better than him, except maybe, oh my god, literally who the fuck is the villain in the Marvels? I can't even remember. His design here is abysmal. His plan, Makes no sense. And I do not buy that he's a threat to Captain America at any point. He keeps saying shit like, well, by my calculations, there's an 88% chance you won't be able to stop me. Like, hey, Captain America, how about you calculate a 100% chance of hitting him on the squishy part of the head with your shield? He is not a threat to you. He doesn't do anything cool. He doesn't do anything interesting. He doesn't seem that smart, even though I keep getting told that he's the smartest guy in the fucking universe. I don't know why this movie is where they decided to follow up on these threads. How about, I don't know, She-Hulk, or, anything with Hulk in the title. Believe it or not, I think the best way to make people get behind Sam as Captain America is to make him fight Captain America villains, not Hulk villains. There are plenty that haven't been used. Or you could bring back Zemo, bring back Hydra. Why is the Hulk villain the route we're taking? Honestly, if we didn't already get Falcon and the Winter Soldier, that seems like it should have just been the plot for this movie. Giancarlo Esposito is in this movie for a minute, and he's I don't know, whatever. But, that seems like the type of villain he should be facing. Have this actually be the Serpent Society movie Feige announced before he revealed that it was actually Civil War. Another indication this movie was reshot and re-edited to death is the character of Ruth. She was clearly meant to be in this more. There's even a scene where you can see she has some kind of super suit underneath her clothes, but it's very obvious they just gutted that plot line entirely. Which, good, I think. I don't think it was ever a good idea to include that character, but it's very indicative of the larger problem here. The action is not very memorable, which is a shame because I think Captain America's shield is like my favorite weapon in comic books, and they always do cool shit with it. But he doesn't really do anything cool with it in here, and they give Sam a bunch of extra bullshit technology that he doesn't need. Like, okay, great, now his wings can do the kinetic energy that Black Panther does, and he has a nanotech helmet that looks like shit. Who even cares anymore? Which is made worse by the fact that the CGI looks pretty rough in some parts of this movie. Especially at the beginning, his wings kind of look like they were clip art. But why does he even need a nanotech helmet? He has never needed a helmet to fly before this movie, and the other Falcon at least has a physical helmet that he actually takes off. It's just another way of Marvel showing that they don't know how to properly write a situation in which Sam can conceivably win without some bullshit technology. I've seen a lot of people call this movie unrealistic because Sam shouldn't be able to go toe-to-toe with the Red Hulk with no super serum. And you're right, he shouldn't, but why write him into that situation to begin with? We have plenty of other characters without powers that get storylines in the MCU, and the way they make them believable is by not having them fight a Hulk. Hell, I don't think Steve Rogers could win that fight with the serum, which is why his movies always gave him a villain that he could take. I just think this movie is an overall misunderstanding of the character of Captain America, forcing him to face the wrong types of threats, all while saying nothing interesting. People will often say that Marvel was better before it got political. Motherfucker, I wish this movie was political. Captain America has always been political. They've been movies about propaganda, government oversight, vigilantism, in which Captain America is there to challenge the establishment. This movie has no interest in making a point about anything. They can't even go as far to say that General Ross is a shithead. I really wasn't going to make this long of a video about Brave New World because I truly thought in my heart that this would be an inoffensive, albeit dull movie, and I wouldn't have that much to say about it. But instead, it takes every opportunity it has to say something interesting in order to say nothing. There are storylines in here about Sam's struggle taking up the mantle, or about the government framing Isaiah Bradley, that are way more interesting and fitting of the character than Red Hulk blowing up the moon or whatever. It's also worth saying that this movie is just kind of boring for most of it. I looked over at my friend halfway through, and he was almost asleep, which you might think is a problem with him, but I saw Kraven the Hunter with this guy, and he made it through that. The dialogue is also really bad. Every character just says the most surface level observation about everything that happens. It's kind of like Rise of Skywalker, where characters just kind of talk like this. There's a problem. Oh no, how do we fix it? Here, I've made a device to fix it. Awesome, let's go solve the problem. It's really distracting and not at all subtle. Sam Wilson is Captain America, and he deserves way, way better than what we're giving him right now. So this is my plea to Marvel. Please, don't let this be his only Captain America movie. Get your asses into the writing room and work on making his next outing be great. Do not give up on this character thinking audiences don't like him when you elected to turn this into a Hulk movie for no reason. Captain America deserves his trilogy. I hope this doesn't stop Marvel from making it. On a lighter note, I will say that this movie has the most hilariously bad post-credit scene that I've seen in my life. Seriously, that had me dying of laughter. I cannot believe they did that. But what did you think? Did you like Brave New World? Am I being a hater, or did Sam deserve a better movie than this? Let me know in the comments, and be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos. It really helps me out a lot, and I'm working on some new things coming down that'll be pretty good, so stay tuned. And if not, I'm gonna hit you on the squishy part of the head with my shield.
When Captain America throws his mighty shield, all those who choose to oppose his shield must yield, unless you're a plane or a bomb or some ice.